we did mention this last week, but the new female... I think, why am I doing that? The new female national treasure, replacing the awesome Nick Cage with some woman, I don't even know who, has been cancelled. We, at the last movie Outpost, were all shocked. Shocked.
Oh, first of all, the female national treasure is Margot Robbie. Everybody knows that. And secondly, we did talk, or you guys talked about this last week, which I listened to once all my clips came through on the schedule. I find it's much easier to listen to you two when I have to do it only at 5-minute increments. It makes it so much easier.
I know, totally. I never watch this stuff back, ever.
Don't you?
No, of course not. Why would I?
I know. I watch the clips. I watch the clips
because I give us a like. Because I'm a whore.
Oh, you're that's you. Oh, that's
me.
great.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. No,
on the other one.
If there's three, it's my mom.
to which you get an uncomfortable phone call afterwards about.
Might be some of the dislikes as well, just so you know. You need to stop swearing so much, son. Okay. All right.
But National Treasure. This is no surprise to anyone. Again, this is one of those things where it's completely churned out, unoriginal thinking, and I think, in the movies at least, the first two movies kind of covered all of the kind of major things, like the Declaration of Independence and the Liberty Bell and all this kind of stuff. They covered all that. So what is there left to sort of dig through from the past of America? It's only 20 years old, isn't it?
I think so.
Speaking of unoriginal, hackneyed, why are we doing the same story twice?
It's because last week somebody brought it up in the chat.
Look at the wheels turning.
Last week somebody brought it up in the chat, and so this week I thought we would talk about it properly, being more prepared, even though I haven't read the article. So again, I'm just winging it. Anyway, so
I'm going to have 30-second clips this week.
Kraven. Now, this is a character I'm not familiar with, but Kraven, it looks like he's going to be getting an R rating for all the naughty swear words like poo-poo, bottom, and willy, and the graphic portrayal of violence. Who is Kraven? What is Kraven?
Kraven is one of Spider-Man's villains that, honestly, for the first, probably through the 70s, was kind of a joke, and he kind of fell off because he was just like this Russian big game hunter, and he wore this thing with a vest with a lion on it, and he was always, I'm going to hunt Spider-Man, and it was kind of a dumb one-note character. And then they did Kraven's Last Hunt, which was a phenomenal story where Kraven actually won and killed Spider-Man and buried him. And then it turns out he didn't actually kill him. He put him in some sort of herbal African whatever. Yeah. But he decided to become Spider-Man. And then once Peter came back, which he had to actually claw himself out of the grave. He goes to confront Kraven. Kraven's like, I'm done. I've done my hunt. The hunt is done. And then he kills himself at the end, blows his own head off. And it's all done very artistically. It's not like your standard comics of the day. It was done very much. It was one of these, because at that time in the mid 80s, you started out with things like Dark Knight Returns, and then you had Watchmen, and then everybody was trying to do some graphic novel or some mini stories that were very, very artistic. And Kraven's Last Hunt was one of them. It's excellent. I don't know what happened to him after that, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm sure he came back because nobody's dead in comics.
No, obviously.
They've done various spin-offs of him. It was interesting in the Spider-Man animated series, he was actually kind of a good guy in it. He was kind of an ally with Spider-Man. I think they had one moment where he did kind of a half-hearted hunt, but for the most part, he kept coming back to help Spider-Man, which I thought was a nice take on him because it actually made it more interesting than big game hunter trying to hunt Spider-Man. That was that never really worked for me.
I've hunted arachnids all around the world.
Yeah.
And now I'm going after the main one, Spider-Man.
Yeah. Let me get out my weapon of choice. He picks up a Nike Air.
Spider-Man's like, oh no, he's got a roll-up newspaper.
It's a Florsheim. You're fucked, Spider-Man.
No, so I mean, if that's the case, then if he, I wonder if they're going to portray him as the villain in the movie. So kind of like Venom, what they tried to do with Venom, terribly, or whether he is then going to actually sort of be with Spider-Man and what's his name will turn up.
Well,
It's really
because Spider-Man's Marvel still, even though it's Sony, so Marvel is not going to slip over into this Sony verse, the Spunk verse.
It's really weird what they're doing. Like, they're doing all these villain movies, but no Spider-Man. It's like doing a bunch of Star Wars movies, but without Han, Luke, and Leia. Oh, wait, they did that.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
I can't even imagine what that would look like.
I wish I couldn't.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it. Again, it's kind of one of those things that ultimately it comes down to the story. It's like going back to Fantastic Four. It's got to come down to the story. Because, like I say, with this Fantastic Four, if they haven't got a decent writer, what's the point? And the same with Kraven and any of these other films. If it's just exploitation for the sake of exploitation of using these characters, if they haven't got a decent story, it's just going to be rubbish.
Yeah, but there is... yes, it's possible probably to do a good story with these characters. But the problem is that the story is Spider-Man. Spider-Man's the protagonist, and these are all antagonists in his world, right? So you've already laid down that groundwork in the original story that made everything so popular. I don't think it's as simple as just if you take a character, as long as you have a good story, it'll be fine. It's like you've already got all this canon weighing him down. So you can't just throw these characters into a new story and expect it to work. I'm not saying it never does. It has, and it can, but it's got a lot of baggage to try to overcome. And I think that's what's wrong with Venom and Morbius and all these others. It's very difficult to make these stories.
Don't have a go at Morbius, because that was a brilliant film.
Morbid time. Yeah, I'm just going to pretend you didn't say that.
Sorry, my testicles said it. They're talking bollocks.
Eggy, Boba's having a stroke. You want to call an ambulance for him?
He probably is having some sort of stroke.
Yeah, go there.
So
to make it
again,
weird.
They're gonna with it. Then obviously they're gonna go down the route of violence. I'm assuming, and so this guy is a vicious killer of some description. So, it might work. It definitely works with Deadpool. The swearing and the violence is brilliant.
Yeah, but Deadpool was already established as the main character in all his stories. He already had a comic. He's the centerpiece. Everything gets built around the center. Once you have the hero, you have Superman, then everything, he's the center of the hub, right? Everything gets built out around him. Spider-Man, same way. You try to make stories with these people that are reliant on the center of the wheel, so to speak. Can it be done? Yes. Is it 100 times more difficult because everybody knows what these stories are and where this world is?
Yeah.
Much harder.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, well, we're going to have to wait and see what it is. It's being played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, which the guy is great. I do genuinely love him. Yeah. Not only that, but I'm going to say Bullet Train as well, because it took me half the film to realise who it was. I genuinely didn't recognise him, and then it was like, I see that.
Yeah, he's got a lot of range. He's pretty good.
he's also on the no, but he's also on the shortlist to possibly be playing Bond, which I think he would do quite well.
I think he would do well. I think he'd do a good Bonds, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I think just give him some black hair, would you please? Just dye it. It's such a bad thing. Thank you for watching this excerpt from Outpost Frequencies. Tune in live every Sunday at noon Central Time or 6 o'clock UK time. And also, remember to come to lastmovieoutpost.com for all your latest in movie news, streaming news, and everything cool about film. We are the cool news now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next stream.